right. Well, yeah, I guess what I'm saying when it comes to the world of Lovecraft, I think I just like the mythology and the monsters, and the gods and stuff like that. Not so much the dark, foreboding philosophy behind it. I like the monsters and stuff like that, and the mythology. If there's one Lovecraft story I really don't seem to understand why people enjoy it so much, it's At the Mountains of Madness. I mean, maybe it's just too bleak for me, but that's one of his stories I never got into. And I do that a lot with a lot of writers and artists. Like I like a lot of Stephen King, but people jump up and down about it. And I've read most of the book, and I don't see what the hell the point is. I mean, I see the point, I guess, but I don't see why it's so amazing. Like, why everyone hails this as like some of his best work, or his best work. I mean, I read The Shining, and I think that's probably his best book, is The Shining, and it's completely different from the Stanley Kubrick version. Anyone who's read the book and anyone who's watched the movie would know that. There's the Stephen King mini-series for The Shining, which is really good. I recommend that. I like the Kubrick version, and I like the King version, but I undoubtedly think that The Shining is Stephen King's best book. It's not it. It is too, like, in my honest opinion, it is a story that doesn't know how to end itself and doesn't know when to end itself. You know, it just keeps going and just gets ambiguous and bizarre, and to the point where it's more goofy than it is scary. I did not find it scary. I found the Tim Curry version fun and enjoyable, but reading the book, those are two separate things. They're not even remotely similar, just for a few things, a few nuances, you know. Yes, there's a giant spider monster at the end. Yes, it's a clown that kills children, but other than that, so many things that happen in it are completely in contrast. Whoa. But what I really enjoy with Stephen King are his short stories. 1922, they made a Netflix movie of it with Thomas Jane. That's one of my favorite short stories that he wrote. I don't know. It was really bleak and really hard to read. But it kept me drawn into it. Also, the story N, which is basically like a short story inspired by Lovecraft, undoubtedly, which is really good. It's just about this man who finds like this set of stones in this open field, and he becomes obsessed with them and like just starts touching them and realizing that when he touches them in a certain order, it like does something, and like that's one of his best short stories that's never talked about. Never talked about. If you get a chance, read the story N. Read it. N. It's named the name. It's called N because the guy is telling his story to a therapist, and the therapist is like so confidential about it because the story is so fucked up. He just takes his first name and files it the file under N, so no one can find out about it, because that's how fucked up and destructive to the universe this story he's telling him. Yeah, I think it's Full Dark No Stars, which is a collection of short stories from Stephen King, which is one of the first books that I actually bought of his. They're all very morbid stories, but they're all very good in my honest opinion. There's also Just After Sunset, and that has one of his worst stories. and that story would be a tight space. For anyone who's read that story, you know what the hell that story is about. It's about a man getting trapped in a porta potty. Yeah, I think they did make a short movie about it. Yeah, I don't think I'll be watching that movie. Okay, so let's see here. Increases the maximum energy. Yeah, I'll get the Magnum rounds. So I got those two. Blocking unlocks a new low attack. Well, I might buy that next time. Okay. Just keep moving forward. Are you serious? Oh my god, those things are so stupid. Seriously, those are like the most one-sided fucking enemies in this game. Man. Ugh. I think another good author for people to read, though he kind of just, I don't know what way to take him. You know, like he's one of those authors where it's just like, okay, are you trying to be scary? Are you trying to be funny? But a lot of his work is good. Is Chuck Palahniuk. Like I've read Fight Club, I've read Beautiful Monsters, I've read Haunted, and Haunted's very good. But anyone who's read his material or watched Fight Club, you know there's this side to him that's very humorous, very black humor. I highly recommend him, but some of his books, some of his material, it's just like I go through it and I'm just like, I mean, it's really good. It's really good, but I just don't know what to take from it. I just don't know what to take from it. Am I supposed to be scared or am I supposed to laugh? It's still good. I just don't know what to take from it. So I stomp on these fucking things. But Fight Club's a really good book, and I read it in a single day. That was the only book I ever read in a single day was Fight Club. I guess the question is it different from the movie? Just a little bit, not really. I might as well read the graphic novel sequel that he wrote. I never got my hands on it. Kind of curious what happens, but I hear it has a really meta ending, and I guess that really upset people, and I can see why. I don't like the idea of a meta ending, especially in a story like Fight Club. Like, man, that would just piss people off, and I think that's the whole meta thing to the ending was like he knew it would piss people off. Okay, so what the fuck do I do? Follow the red pipe. Okay, I don't think I'm supposed to go in there. I mean, this is what I crawled through, wasn't it? Is that the red pipe? Okay, well, I guess this is where it leads. Yeah, that's the red pipe right there, so this is... I guess I go this direction unless I'm heading backwards, which I don't think. Alright. Yes, this is the most fun I've had playing a survival horror in a long, long time. It's a shame that Strike and Distance kind of got the shaft on this one, but maybe that was the product of their own mishandling of the project. You know, like, I think they may have just released it too soon. And I mean, that's what happened with Cyberpunk, I think. It was like they wanted to work on it more, but then eventually, like, they just caved into fans or something and just released the game. Or it was, you know, publishers and deadlines. Shit. I guess, like, when you're loaned money, and I assume that's what happens, is they're loaned money to make these games, you have a deadline. And if you don't get that game out before the deadline, you just screwed yourself. Shippers.